Today on Tokyo Portfolio, we are not in Tokyo, we are up in the hills of Karuizawa. This is a town just about 2 or 3 hours north of Tokyo by car, and here we are going to see what you can get for $10 million. That's a lot of money. So let's go see what that house looks like. Before we do that, let's go see the town. Popularized in the late 1880s as a summer resort by a Canadian missionary, Karuizawa is the closest thing to the Hamptons that Japan has to offer. Just like the Hamptons, this is a playground for the rich and famous, but unlike the Hamptons, it is not a coastal town. Being perched up in the mountains to the northwest of Tokyo in Nagano, it is the ideal place to escape the heat, being consistently 10 degrees Fahrenheit or about 5 degrees Celsius cooler than metropolitan Tokyo. As you would expect, it is home to high-end restaurants of all cuisines, such as soba spot Kawakami-an and bakery Sawamura, as well as Naz, an impossible-to-book restaurant led by a former chef from Denmark's Noma, which in itself is widely regarded as one of the best restaurants in the world. With that, let's go see the house. And now we are inside this beautifully done house in the middle of Karuizawa, right in the mountains, just where you want to be. And first off, when you first walk into this place, you have to remember one thing, that this was actually designed right during kind of COVID. So that's why they have this sink when you first come in, just to make sure you're all clean and safe, right, before you get into the house. There's even a little garbage thing over here to put your paper towels or whatever you use to dry your hands. Well, first off, when we come in, I want to show you this right over here. We'll get to that at the end. This right here is, of course, your little powder room. This is great for guests. You walk right in and you already have this waiting for you towards the entrance, of course. But right next to the powder room is, of course, the bathroom. So let's go see that. Now we are in the main bathroom. Not the master bathroom, there is a master bathroom, the main bathroom. I'll show you what I mean by that. First off, you have your dual vanity over here, very spacious as you can see, and you have a towel warmer. Love having those. And of course you have a very open toilet right over here, which of course you can still close off for privacy. But the best part about this bathroom is not the toilet itself, nor is it the dual vanity over here, but the bath area itself. Now this is basically your own public bath size-wise, but it's just for you and maybe your friends if you would like. This being Japan, of course, they have a very traditional Japanese setup for the shower area, because in Japan you shower first, then you go take your bath. But originally they didn't really have showers, but these things right here. Yes, a bucket. You'd put it right over here, fill it up, and then basically just dunk it right over your head. That's how they bathe over here, right? So once you're done with that, you can just climb right into here, your massive bath, right? Which is still a little wet because I filled it up a second ago. But one thing to notice about this bath itself, and in fact the entire bathroom up until basically the ceiling, is this stone right here. So this is a very special stone that they only have in northern Japan. It's called Towadaishi. Towadaishi is this kind of like off-green, kind of grayish stone, but it has a very, very interesting feature in that if it gets a little bit wet or damp, it'll start turning blue. And we can kind of see how that works right over here, if you take a look at this part over here, right? So this is your hot bath, and this is where you would have your cold plunge, right? But we'll get to why there's a cold plunge in a second. Ooh, and it's cold, by the way. But yes, as you can see, all of the stone inside is quite blue compared to just what it would look like if it was dry like that. Love having that in here. Very expensive stone, by the way. And from here, you have this beautiful view of the forest. Now, one thing about Karuizawa is that it gets quite cold, especially in the winter. And you would think, okay, if it's going to be cold and you have this big room like this, you might need to have a heater or something in there. Well, there's two things that this bathroom has that make sure that you don't need that. First off, it is all heated floors, right? So you have a floor heating system all in the bathroom. And also, just to make sure that you don't get cold at all, you have your own large sauna. I mean very large. You can easily fit maybe 4 or 5 people if they're sitting down, and yeah, just have them all stare out into the distance like that. This probably takes the cake for the best view in a sauna that I've shown on the channel, that's for sure. But also if you just want to have a little bit more relaxing time and it's just maybe you and a partner, you can always lay down. They even give you a wooden pillow just to do that with. But that is it for the sauna and bath area, so let's go see the rest of the house. Now, what I really like about this house, it's pretty easy to see it from the outside especially, is just that the whole thing is kind of built at a curve like this, right? It's like a big arch just kind of on the ground. And it's not just the house itself. Basically everything here is kind of shaped like that. Reason being is that it's on top of a hill and they wanted to get as much sunlight in as possible and also give you the best view as possible, which we'll see later. But what I also wanted to show you is right over here, this large fountain. And not only is it just a large fountain, but this too has been built at the same curvature as the rest of the house, which again, just these small details are really what's important for me. So just around this bend is actually the side entrance to the whole house. So now we're inside the aforementioned second entrance, and this house is about 300 square meters, or just over 3,000 square feet or so, and it's only a 2-bedroom. There's also a little playroom over here, which we'll get to in a second, but let's go see the first bedroom. So coming into the master bedroom. First off, you have this very spacious bedroom area over here. It's Japan, so they tend to like having 2 beds right next to each other, but of course you could put a nice king-size bed in here, no problem. You even have this nice artwork on the wall right over here, kind of looks like a hammock or an unfinished woven piece. I kind of like it though. Yeah, you have all of your storage over here as well. This is a vacation home, so you don't really need to have a huge walk-in closet, right? But right next to that is, of course, your ensuite bath. There is, of course, the first bath that we saw, but this is your private little one if you don't want to go all the way over there for that, right? So this doesn't have a full bath just like the first one did, but you still have everything you need. You have your shower over here. This is the same kind of stone that they use in the first bathroom too. So as I was saying, it gets nice and blue once it gets a little damp. But yeah, that is the ensuite master bath. Now, this is a master suite, so it's not just a bathroom and a bedroom. There's a little extra in here. So let's go see upstairs. Or up the ladder, I guess. So coming up the ladder over here, you get into what is probably, well, every child's favorite place to hide, the little loft area over here. So this is great to have just for a little, maybe yoga or something like that, or just a little chill place. You could have a nice beanbag in here, watch a movie, or what I would do is just have a nice little book and take a look outside at the gorgeous view. Yes, this whole place, as I mentioned before, is on top of a hill, so you get this view all around you, panoramic, more than 180-degree views. And there's more views to see, so let's go back downstairs. So the last place I want to show you in the master suite is this office right over here. Just a little space to work in the morning. It's perfect, you know, you even have your plugs all set up over here that you can open up and charge all you would like and enjoy that view when you're working. I mean, I'm speechless. You're in the middle of a forest, guys. Look at this. While this is the best place to work in this house, I would say there's a better place to play. So let's go see the playroom. And here is the playroom. You have this beautiful orange carpet over here, really soft and plush, just ready to be rolled around on. Great for kids over here. In fact, they even have a Jenga set right over here. It's nice, and you also have these really cool looking cards in here too, which I love. But yes, of course, you have to have a TV in a playroom like this. Here is said TV. You could use this even as a little screening room if you really wanted to. But a couple of things I wanted to point out here. First off, this is one of the few rooms that is actually facing this way into the garden area and not into the forest as we just saw. And one other thing that not only this room has, but basically every room in this place has is, of course, your electric curtains. And yeah, just look at how quiet and smooth they go down. So you can just get out all the sunlight that you would like. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this room. So let's go see the second bedroom. So this is the last bedroom. We're gonna get to that living room that I mentioned in a bit. Basically though, it's more or less the same, at least in this part, as the master bedroom that we just saw. In fact, size-wise, it's more or less the same as well. Just like the other one, you do have that lofted area up on the top. It's a nice size, right? But the biggest difference is that instead of having that little office area over there, they've decided to make the bathroom significantly bigger, right? So the other one only had one vanity. This one is a proper dual vanity, as you can see. Two sinks right over there. And also you have the same kind of toilet here, which, yeah, I didn't have to press the button. It opens up right there for you. And right next to that, you have a pretty large shower compared to the other one especially. And the nice thing about this shower is that, of course, you have this view right over here. So again, right into that forest right over there. It's unbelievable. Just take a shower in the morning and you get to see the greenery, the birds, they get to watch you. If you don't want the birds to watch you though, you can of course press this button over here and then the blinds will come down to give you total privacy in here. Now, that is it for the second bedroom. Let's go see, finally, the living, dining, and kitchen. So the living, dining, kitchen is all open. It's a very open concept in this house. And as you can see, you have this large kitchen over here with this island, and it's probably the only curved island I've ever seen in my life. Curved just like the rest of this house, as I mentioned. Let's go in one by one as to what this has. Of course, you have all this storage around you. You have not only one, but two sinks over here. I'll get to what that sink does in a second. And also things that it has two of would be ovens, right? So this has one full-sized Miele oven right over here, and of course a smaller Miele just over here. This one has a microwave function in as well. Now the other little secret that this one has is this, your plate warmer, right? So you can just keep plates and different things that you've cooked warm in here at a constant temperature, which is really, really cool to have. So you don't have to keep on turning on and off your oven just to keep something nice and warm. Right next to that, speaking of things that are in twos, you do have these right over here. They may look like they are dishwashers, but no. This is your freezer. This is your fridge. And they may seem a little small, and that's because, to be frank, they kind of are. But this is perfect for just some drinks, maybe some ice cream over there, put some eggs in there, just something simple, right? Because you do have a much larger fridge right over there in the pantry, as you can see right now. Now, right next to that is your sink. This is very rare to have in Japan, but this sink does actually have a garbage disposal built into it. You just don't find these in houses. You may see them in apartment buildings, but almost never in houses. Now, another thing that this beautiful sink has is, of course, you can see the Hansgrohe faucet right over here. If you press this button, though, this turns on. What is this? This is a vegetable washing thing. So yeah, you put your, I don't know, your lettuce or your cabbage or something that you need a little bit more, spray strength to get all of the nastiness out of, and it will just spray it just like that. Right next to that is the aforementioned dishwasher. It's a full-size Bosch, as you can see. Just closes up right like that, and then all the rest of this is going to be storage and or garbage, as you can see over here. And they've even decided to put in the top-of-the-line rice cooker. If you guys haven't seen this before, I'm not sure if they sell this outside of Japan, but it's called Vermicular. They're a Japanese company, and this one is their rice cooker. Really, really nice. And of course, you have all these guys over here too. So while you may have all your plate and cutlery storage in the kitchen, you might need a little bit more storage for something else. Well, that would be your wine fridge right over here. Yes, this will hold plenty of wine and champagne and what else you would like to drink. And of course, you need a place to drink that, don't you? Well, that would be right over here. Yes, your living room, right? It's, as I was saying before, a big open space. Here is your living area. You have your fireplace right in the middle, as you can see, and we'll get to the dining area towards the end. But what I really like about this place is, again, attention to detail, right? This one, they have put the TV in this cabinet over here. It's not the largest TV, but then again, you're sitting kind of close to it, so you don't need it to be too big, right? This is your TV, here is your couch. Perfect, in my opinion, right? Now, the nice thing about this whole open living dining kitchen is not just the openness of the room itself, but just how open it feels with these floor to ceiling windows. These are over 5 meters or about 18 feet tall. That's insane to me, right? And you don't find places like this in Japan, especially in Tokyo, just due to how the earthquake standards are, but they managed to do it so that they could build it just in this way. Now, let's go sit down right over here. All the furniture, by the way, is completely included. which I like to have. Right now, let's just talk about numbers. This place, as I mentioned earlier, is about 300 square meters, which comes out to just over 3,300 square feet. Very large, especially considering it's only a 2-bedroom. I mean, yeah, you have the little playroom as well, but it's a 2-bedroom. And of course, it being a 2-bedroom, it's going to be a not 2-bath, but 3-bath in this case, including the large sauna area that we just saw as well. Now, this place in the middle of Karuizawa can be yours today for 1.45 billion yen, which comes out to $10 million as of today. If you want to learn more about this property, please make sure to look in the link in the description below. Of course, you can subscribe to us at Tokyo Portfolio, follow us on Instagram or whatever social media you like, and until next time, thanks for watching.